Well, beginning today, Canadians with Apple Watches will be able to add Apple's electrocardiogram or ECG app with monitors, and that monitors rather your heart, and make sure that it is ticking properly. So I was very, very lucky to fly to Apple Park in Silicon Valley to sit down with the company's Vice President of Health, Dr. Sumbul Desai, for an exclusive look at how this app works.
Dr. Desai, this is a very exciting day for us because we are in the countdown to the electrocardiogram app coming to Apple Watches in Canada. Tell us what it is.
There's two features. There's the irregular heart rhythm notification feature, which will detect if your heart is beating in an irregular rhythm, similar to atrial fibrillation, and will notify you. So it's occasionally checking your heart rate in the background and your heart rhythm in the background to seeing if it looks like atrial fibrillation. The other feature is the ECG feature, which is available on our Series 4 watches, which will now enable you to be able to put your finger on the digital crown and generate a 30-second ECG that will then be classified as sinus rhythm, which means your heart's beating regularly, or atrial fibrillation, which means your heart's beating out of sync. The way we talk about that is your heart should be beating a normal drum beat, and when your heart's playing jazz, that's not a good thing. And so that's kind of when we think of atrial fibrillation, and you'll now be able to capture a 30-second ECG as you're living your everyday life, be able to take a picture and then share it back with your physician for additional information. So what's really valuable about that is traditionally how and what is going on every day is a little bit of a black box for physicians. And when we're jointly trying to understand what's going on with patients, we now have some additional information to really help us understand what may be going on, say if they're walking and their heart's beating really fast, or if they're feeling palpitations. We can actually capture a snapshot and bring that into the physician and have a conversation.
This is not something that is replacing
Absolutely
a visit to a doctor.
Absolutely not. I, given I'm a physician, have strong feelings about that. I really think that the magic that happens between patients and their physician is the relationship. And we absolutely design our products with the intent in mind of really thinking about how do we augment that relationship with the physician, not replace it.
There was a massive study undertaken with literally hundreds of thousands of people, I think to the tune of 400,000 people. Statistically significant, I would say.
Yeah.
So when you take that data, that's how seriously this is taken when it comes to studying this.
We heard from the medical community that one of the concerns would be false positives. And the Apple Heart study showed us that with 400,000 people, only 2,000 individuals were actually alerted. And of that, over 80% of the time when the alert was generated, it actually was congruent with atrial fibrillation. We designed the technology to make sure that we were thoughtful about avoiding false positives. For example, the alert will only be generated after it's seen 5 instances of atrial fibrillation. So if it sees 1 instance, it actually doesn't alert you. It has to be 5 instances of atrial fibrillation before it would alert an individual.
There's that saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And your Apple Watch is gathering a lot of very personal and private information. So guide me through how the privacy portion of this is protected.
This data that's on your wrist, it belongs to you. You control who to share it with. You decide when you want to share it, how you want to share it, and who you're going to share it with. It's all on device. Apple does not see that health information. Unless you choose to enroll in a study like the Apple Heart study, none of that data is shared with Apple. And even in the cases like the Apple Heart study, we never see identifiable information about an individual.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Fascinating discussion.
Thanks so much.
That was super cool.
So cool.
So ladies, I'm just gonna start a little ECG reading. It just takes 30 seconds. So just ask away, because I'm just doing an ECG live on the air as we speak.
So have you been doing this nonstop then, just trying it out, seeing where you're at, trying to track your own
I
health?
have, because it's really cool, first of all, cool tech. It is in the background testing anyway, and so far, good news. I have a regular heartbeat, otherwise known as a sinus rhythm. So far, so good.
It's good to know. I think it's so important that people have sort of autonomy and control over their health information. So I think this is a great positive. I know some people are worried about their information being out there and things like that, but I love this idea.
It's wonderful. And you can think of someone who is perhaps in a remote part of the country, doesn't have easy access to the hospital or to the doctor, or is not living in a large urban center. This really sort of puts and empowers the patient with information literally on a couch.
Okay,
Just
so
want to
where you
see
at?
what it's saying here. Sinus rhythm, AKA normal.
Oh.
Whoo! Okay, guys,
You're in the clear.
we're in the clear. Yeah, very, very cool tech.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.